Welcome back. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is set to speak an hour from now as Congress continues to battle over financial relief for millions of struggling Americans. The president, interestingly, signaling that he could get behind a bipartisan plan released this week by the House Problem Solvers Caucus, and includes a lot. Here are some of the top lines that are striking. A $1,200 one-time stimulus check with an additional $500 per child, $450 per week in increased jobless benefits for 8 weeks with a possible extension, $500 billion in state and local government aid, but there are contingencies to that, and $25 billion for eviction moratoriums and rental assistance. And there's a lot more. Still, though, this was immediately rejected by Democratic House leadership. And moments ago, Goldman Sachs came out with a report saying that it will likely downgrade its fourth quarter economic growth forecast for the U.S. if stimulus doesn't pass soon. With me now are the bipartisan co-chairs of the Problem Solvers Caucus, Republican Congressman Tom Reed of New York and Democratic Congressman Josh Gottheimer of New Jersey. Good morning, gentlemen, and thank you for being here. Congressman Gottheimer, let me begin with you. Can you get Democratic leadership on board? And is Speaker Pelosi basically taking the position that perfect is the enemy of the good here and not willing to move?
I think, frankly, what I heard this week, this, along with Senator Schumer's willingness and the White House's willingness to go back to the table, to me gives me faith that we're going to get there. Both sides are just with the key with our whole framework in the Problem Solvers Caucus, which is 25 Democrats and 25 Republicans, was really to show a way forward where you can get Democrats and Republicans to agree, to hopefully get the negotiators to sit back down and get this done. As you know, the country is hurting. Americans are hurting. Families need help. Small businesses need help, and so do our communities and states. And this is really a roadmap forward. And you've heard from Democrats and Republicans this week alike, not just leadership, but rank and file members, that they want us all to get back to the table and get something done.
Well, I actually heard from 8 Democratic leaders that this wasn't it for them, that this wasn't enough. But it sounds like you're saying that this is going to happen. What about you, Congressman Reed? Because the president said, quote, go for the much higher numbers of Republicans. What do your Republican colleagues think about that? Even more money all of a sudden?
Well, no, I'm definitely hearing from Republican colleagues. And then also when you see people like Jim Clyburn, I think, on your network, positive comments about what we did in the Problem Solvers Caucus. And I'm seeing comments, even Mitch McConnell made some comments publicly that willing to go in the room and finish off this deal. And that's a good sign. That's what we were looking for in the Problem Solvers Caucus, was the thawing of the gridlock. What Mark Meadows said publicly at a press conference was, we've had more movement in the last 72 hours than the last 72 days. And so that's a sign to the American people. But I think we can get there.
I thought this thing was DOA, frankly, not to criticize you guys, but that was the reaction from both sides, a few days ago. And it really does seem like things have changed in the last 24 hours. Congressman Reed, just a follow up to you, because we heard Larry Kudlow, the chief White House economist, say yesterday that recovery is not, quote, contingent on more stimulus. But looking at your district, looking at Ithaca, where just a few weeks ago they said we're going to have to furlough some 25% of city employees because of our dire financial straits. Is that true for Ithaca, that a recovery is not contingent on stimulus, or is Kudlow wrong there?
I think, if you look across the entire country, there are pockets of people that are hurting. There are areas that are still suffering, and you got potential on the horizon after October 1st. Furlough notices going out now. And this is about what we did in the caucus, saying we recognize those voices. We hear those voices. And that's why I think you saw the change in the movement of the public comments from the White president, that they recognize we need to do a deal. And I'm just heartened that we were able to be part of the effort to get these folks hopefully back into the room and do a good faith deal for the American people.
Congressman Gottheimer, your fellow Democrat in the House, Max Rose, who's also on the Problem Solvers Caucus with you guys, reacted to the Democratic leadership rejecting this outright earlier this week and said this is, quote, all the reasons why people hate politics. And then he said it makes him, quote, disappointed to be a Democrat. Do you feel the same?
No, I'm very proud to be a Democrat. I'll tell you this, though, even with all the priorities that our chairs laid out and that we've been focused on, whether it's helping our small businesses or making sure that families can put food on the table and help them with unemployment, all of our priorities are in this proposal. What we did was just figured out a way. Let's shorten the timetable. Let's just help people now get through the next months. They're facing very tough times. As Tom just pointed out, we've got 14% unemployment here in New Jersey. So many people need help. And this is really just a framework. This can get folks talking again, and it shows that Democrats and Republicans can agree and put country ahead of party. And I think that's what needs to happen right now. And the problem solvers caucus, we're just sick and tired of people yelling. We just want them to solve the problem for the public that they're telling us every day. We just want you to get it done.
Do you, Congressman Reed, have a message for Democrats and Republicans who feel like this isn't perfect, this isn't what they wanted, and so we can wait? And I ask that from the lens of you, not only as a member of Congress, but as as one of 12 children raised by a single mother, because those are the households I'm thinking about now. Single-parent households, many of their kids aren't even in school, they're remote learning, they may have lost their job, or they don't have enough to afford childcare, and they're waiting on you guys.
Absolutely. Remember the faces of the people we represent. People have been home. That's why I think when Congress returned this week, you saw a change in the tone by the rank and file members, folks of us in the Problem Solvers Caucus saying, you know what, leadership, if you don't want to lead and you don't want to hear those voices, then allow us to hear and allow us to lead and set this tone. And that's where I think leadership's listening. And that's why you see the change in the direction of these negotiations. They're getting back in the room. And that's what we asked. And now let's just finish it off. Don't play any more political games, because those are real people behind those numbers that you're hurting.
Congressman Gottheimer, let me end.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Let me just end on this, because the immediate sort of rejection by Democrats in the House of this leadership had Republicans like Senator Marco Rubio saying, quote, congressional leadership is just thinking about what helps them in November. It had Senator Kevin Cramer, Republicans, saying they benefit from not having a deal. Does the speaker want a deal here, or does she fear it gives the president a win 46 days from the election?
No. I've talked to her about this. She wants to get something done. It'd be unconscionable to go home without it. And let's be clear, both sides, and the Republicans didn't act for a week. We sent them legislation 4 months ago. It took them months to do something, and then the Senator McConnell did something that was pretty anemic last week. So let's just be clear, both sides need to get back to the table here, stop pointing fingers at each other, and just remember who we all represent, the country that needs help, and Americans who need help, and small businesses who need help, and cops and firefighters and teachers who need help. So, I mean, that should be our job, and stop the games, as Tom said, and just get it done. And that's what I'm really confident we're going to get something done over the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Well, a couple of weeks is a long time for folks, so let's see if something can happen sooner. Congressman Gottheimer, Congressman Reed, thanks for giving us a little bit of hope that you guys do work together sometimes. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Sure. Jim.
Let's hope they keep